Hey everybody, Caesar Gill here with the Local Service Podcast, and today we're going to talk about Google Ads versus Facebook/Instagram ads for local services. So one of the more common questions or part of the process when signing up new customers for Symphony Advertising, it's, hey, which route do we go? Or they come with the wrong idea. So this episode is going to be, what is the first best place to start to give you the best chances of getting new customers, right? Because we only have so much time and so much shot, right? So many shots. And what that means is we only have an X amount of budget and X amount of time before before we quit the game, right? Before we no longer want to run Facebook ads or run Google ads. And just as a general definition, when I say Facebook ads, that's going to include, for me, when I say it, I don't know, other people have other definitions for it, is it includes Facebook and Instagram. So anytime you run a Facebook ad, it's on the same platform, meaning you can create the ad for both Facebook and Instagram. You just choose, what feed you wanted to come up on, which is a huge, it's a small detail, but if you do that right, you'll have a much more effective campaign, because I can't tell you how bad it can be if you let both platforms put your ad where they think you should have it. They're going to put it in the weirdest places, but we'll get into that. Because that is the point of this episode. So as mentioned, choosing between Google ads and Facebook/IG ads is the number one first step we have to get to when I talk to local services. So it's usually dentists, lawyers, roofers, mechanics. But on the other hand, also people that do like furniture stores. They sell some kind of product, right? It doesn't have to be furniture. Even like food, they sell cookies, but locally, it's a local thing. People who do consultations, so more of a, I need to have a meeting with you. And so, just as a general blanket, this is if you just take one thing away of where should I start at, here's the general rule of thumb that I think applies very well to these things. So Google Ads is best if it's necessity based. Start there if your business is there to service people who don't really want to buy your services, right? So for instance, if your tire blows out and you have to go get a tire, that's probably very good for Google Ads, because the person's going to be like, need new tire, or tire shop near me, mechanic near me. If your roof has a leak, that's another a good Google one, because people aren't going to really go to the best brand right there. They're just going to want their problem solved, especially locally. If it was something national, they're nationally recognized, okay, fine. If your branding is so good, if your company's branding is so good that people have you already top of mind for, oh my gosh, I have a plumbing problem, let me call plumbing company of the world, and people go to that, okay, great. To get to that level, that's awesome. But for most small businesses, I believe local service businesses, you're more in a need-based category, right? So the plumbing, the dentist, right? Let's say you don't have this person doesn't have a dental, who's searching a dentist that they're searching. So they just look up dentist near me, dentist in Houston. They're looking for a need-based solution. Whereas the other one, right? General rule of thumb, need-based, do Google Ads. If it is something you purchase and you feel good about it, or you're happy about it, or you tell your friends about it, then you go the Facebook/Instagram ads route, because that is something that you want to show people. And generally, the way you want to advertise for this is by showing them something, right? So if it is a furniture store, you have specific furniture. It's not like you could just sell any type of furniture. You have your own category, your catalog of furniture. So I would run Facebook ads for this to show the product, right? So in a furniture store, it's kind of weird because you can sell the product, but you can also sell the foot traffic. Google ads would be better for the foot traffic, because you can come up for things like furniture store near me, right? So the intent is different on both platforms. I hope this makes sense, but if you're just trying to show your products, have people engage with your products, build awareness about your products, aka the furniture store, Facebook is good, because there's no on Google, the only thing they see an ad about is just text. We are a furniture store located in Houston. And unless they click that ad, there's not going to be a whole lot of awareness. It's just another 2 lines and descriptions. Whereas Facebook or Instagram, you're going to see it. You're going to have a moment to show them. And that's where the creative is so important. Because without good creative, I mean, or good headlines, like they're both not going to do good. So let's get that out of the way. Like either way, the ads have to be set up well, monitored, and if they're not targeting the right area, the right people, I mean, it's a lost cause anyways. So that in itself could break or can make either one of these not the best place to start. And with that being said, I do want to jump into some of the targeting on both of these. So again, to recap, Google Ads is the best. If Google Ads is a better way to start if you're necessity based, aka I have a pain and I want it solved. I don't care who solves it. Google Ads. Social media ads, aka Facebook/Instagram ads, are better if you're selling something that is it's not vanity. That's the wrong word, but it's of not necessity. It's like a nice to have. So like think about events, right? Like, oh, I want to go to this event, like concerts, right? That's a good one. Forgot about that one. If you want to go to concerts, like you don't have to go to that concert, but it'd be really nice. You probably would really enjoy it. Furniture, like, okay, I don't necessarily need the furniture. Maybe you do, right? But it's more of a, dang, I wish I could get that couch set. Now that I've seen it, it looks so cool. Backpacks, right? Just generally products are always going to fall into that category. And I guess it kind of, for Instagram, Facebook, if it needs a little bit more convincing, if you can't just be at the right place at the right time, where you need to convince as far as like what products they are, what kind of furniture you have, and you need to show a little bit more. I mean, that's the place to do it. So that's the recap. But number 2, though, since I've been doing this, especially this week, we set up a couple of accounts in both Facebook and Google Ads, and some ran both, which is the best part. Is even the strategies within each platform have to be well thought out, because if not, you end up doing everything, and in doing everything, it doesn't actually do anything. So let me use the furniture store, for example. So I got access to everything, right? And they run both Google Ads and Facebook/Instagram ads. And so I've only taken a look at the Facebook ads because I still don't have access to the Google ads. However, this is what I found. They're running a decent budget. And when I say decent budget, I mean several $1,000 per month, which is good. Like, that is great. That means that there is enough meat on the table to disperse it in different ways to try to get different customers, right? Because they have a big product line. They can sell online, which means they can sell to the world or, United States. But they also want to sell in person, which would really limit how many people they can get. So from the get-go in Facebook and Instagram ads, you need to know what it is you're trying to do. Because if you have the budget changes, okay? Let me rephrase that. The budget changes. If you're trying to target the United States of America to sell your products, it could be any products, but in this case, the furniture store, that means you're competing with all the bigger people, right? You have IKEA, you have Wayfair, you have Ashley's Home Store Furniture that I know of, and I'm not even a furniture guy, right? But even I know that if I look up furniture, I'm probably going to get to one of those, especially IKEA. That's like I'm totally their demo. And so when you think about strategy, right, and you say, okay, I want to sell my product to the United States, well, that budget that I just mentioned that was good, all of a sudden turns into not very good. Because while, let's just say, for example, the local furniture store can spend $5,000 a month, which is good locally, but if you're literally targeting the United States, $5,000 is probably like not even a day for some of these bigger companies. They probably spend, I don't know, like a lot more, because because I know the data. You can spend $5,000 in Houston in a 40-mile radius per day. I'm sorry, maybe not per day, but you can get pretty close to it. I'm sure of it, actually. Especially if you're using both platforms, it's not that difficult to find people who would like to see that product, and the platforms will spend it for you. And so when you think about strategy, it's like, okay, this is how I would take it, right? Or this is my suggestion, actually, is that instead of focusing on the United States, which is what was in the account, right? It was like, oh, $20 a day, let's show the world, which is cool. It's great to test, but like that's not a refined uh, ad campaign. It's really not, because you're getting too much data from all these different places. The targeting in Facebook is getting pretty difficult, unless you're doing. You have to like, what are people reading? What is the industry they're in? What are their job titles when that pops up? It gets a little difficult. So it suggested a lot to leave it open. Like, let Facebook find who these people are. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't get it. But the point is, instead of targeting all of the United States, why don't we focus on Houston, right? Why don't we focus on getting as many people to see our product and our store and to come visit us online, to come visit us in person, because that is the advantage for that store, is that they are local, they can sell local. Yes, they have the ability to sell across the United States, but that's not where you have the advantage yet, right? Your advantage is that you're local. People can come see the products, touch the products, look at the products, ask questions to a salesperson. That is the number one advantage of having a storefront. So my suggestion and the strategy change that I'm making is, hey, 80% of the budget, it's to bring people in the store. Because even then, and then you think a little bit more, and I know this because I looked at the website and everything. The website's it's not bad, but it's not going to give you the best chance to sell a product. I mean, imagine going to a site that you just jumped on. Okay, let's break it down like this. Imagine you have a website with the same products you have in your store, and a new person that has never heard of you walks into your store and visits your website. Let's imagine it's the same person, but they chose a different path, right? Which option do you think people have a better chance of buying your product? Is it going to be online? Again, they saw your ad, they went to your website, they browsed through your products, they liked the pricing. Let's say this is the ideal customer. They just got a new home, they're ready to buy. They really need living room furniture, right? They go online, they like the prices, they're approved financially, they have the money, they even add it to cart, right? And it's local. They even live in Houston. Let's just say all of that is true. That's version 1 of that same person. And let's say version 2 of that same person is they see that it says furniture store near me, right? Or they see the Facebook ad that says we're located off of XXX, come by today to check out our products. That person physically drives to the store, parks, walks in, is greeted by a salesperson. They're shown whatever that it is, the living room set, and they get to ask questions. They get to look at it. They get to touch it. They get to leave. Again, they have the money financially. They need the living room set. Out of those two options, which version do you think has a better chance of buying your product? I'll just give it a moment. I'll give it a second. Moment of silence to think about this question. I mean, I would hope it's at least 90-10, right? 90% of the people who voted here would be the person who walked into the store has the better chance of buying a product, because it's not just browsing anymore. It's they get to see, feel the product, and the biggest thing is that there's somebody there that can help them, and that help them through why they should not buy the product. Like, hey, you like this one, but you like this couch, but let me show you a couple other options that we have. Hey, by the way, we have payment plans for this. This is how that would work. We can get it delivered to you by X amount of time. So the goal of these marketing campaigns is let's sell more furniture in this example. And so, that to me, that's like crystal clear. Website, great. Website is good. You're going to go look at it. You're going to browse through it. People can even buy from the website, but you're going to have a better chance of selling more in the physical store because it's just everything's your advantage there. Your home court. You're not just showing them digital pictures. You can show them. You sit on the thing, right? Imagine you sitting there, take photos of it, share it. And so, even though we are a digital marketing company, our goal is, yes, it's to sell online, but it's also what is the best route for us to get more people to buy these products. And so we look at it. We're like, okay, what is the better route? We'll get them in the store. Like that's hands down the better approach. And you could say the same thing about Google Ads for this exact same example. The wrong way to do it is if we want to sell nationally, we could come up for living room sets, right? Let's say that's the keyword. So if someone looks up living room sets, and if by some grace of Google, they actually show our ad and we click on it, or the customer clicks on it, potential customer clicks on it, and then they go through the same process. They can see the products, they can see the pricing. Let's say it's the same scenario where the person has the money, they need it, they're willing to buy it online. But let's say they live in Utah. Let's say they're in California. Let's say they're in, El Paso, or even though it's in Texas. It's like, yes, great, but still the chances of selling to that person is going to be much less than selling to somebody that walks into your store. And so the goal of all this, whether it's Google Ads, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's Instagram ads, whether it's social media just in general organically, it's like, okay, what actions can we take that give us our best chance of selling someone in our store? And that's strategy. That is the strategy. So that's how I think about this furniture store. It's like, okay, we don't want to do anything that doesn't help improve our chances to get somebody in the store, because that's it, right? Of course, like I said earlier, it's always good to run experiments if you have the budget for it. Like have a side campaign running where you're like, okay, let's try United States. Let's try just the southern states of America. Let's just try targeting Spanish people in the United States, Spanish speaking people in the United States. Let's just target, love seats in California for whatever reason. Like, it is good to have things, because that is the good thing about digital. Is like you can run several things at once, and it's not like they're going to overlap each other. You can make it that way. And so that is good. That is a benefit of social media, Facebook ads, and Google. But again, the idea, the strategy is the main thing that needs to be spending the budget so that you have a better chance of that happening. Because if not, then you're just going to get a bunch of likes, a bunch of clicks, a bunch of impressions, a bunch of shares, a bunch of comments, and it's all going to look great, but and a bunch of messages. And then it's just going to be like, this is all great, but we only had 10 people in the store. Whereas the goal could have been, with the right objective in mind, right strategy in mind, could be 100 new customers in the store. So it's intention, right? Like what is it that we want to happen? And so, that is plain and simple how you should look at choosing between Google ads and Facebook, Instagram ads. Which one is going to give us the best chance to sell either our products or to book new customers or patients, or whatever terminology and vernacular is used. So again, they're both digital. They're both allow you to set up like the demographics, like who are we targeting? Where are we targeting? What are we saying? What times are we running them? So all these things go into account in creating these campaigns, and you got to get it right. But you can't get it right without trying many iterations or thinking it through. Like, so I found all the information with the furniture store just by talking with them. Be like, okay, do you sell online? Yes. How good is it? Not very good. Okay. Can you ship anywhere? Yes. How is that going? Well, it's not that great. If someone comes to the store, how does that go? Oh, that's the best way we sell stuff. We are able to sell and offer financing and show them different products, and we can even show them our catalog online. And it was just like hands down, like, okay, that is the best way of doing it. And so that's for the furniture store. And it's interesting for me because that that is the first local furniture store that I've worked with. I've worked with like multi location ones back in the day, but this one was cool because it was like they're doing very well. Like they are doing great, but they hit a couple obstacles on their own marketing because they were doing it internally. Of hey, we're spending money, but it was working at first. With as time goes by, the ads, or sorry, Facebook, the platform changes a little bit, and so the same thing that got you to where you are now isn't exactly the same thing. And so I'm just going to run through a couple more examples because we focused a lot on the furniture store here, but a couple more examples of local services that can choose between Google ads and Facebook ads, and what the objective is or what the goal is, what the end result is, and that'll determine which way we should go, right? Even though they're all generally the same, right? Get more customers, get more patients, get more leads. Like that's usually the end result. So for dentists, between Google ads and Facebook ads, Google ads is going to be the best route for this, is because they are looking for a dentist for some reason. Usually it's because they no longer go to the same dentist. They just moved into an area. They moved from, dentist, same thing, or it's a like super need-based search. My camera's about today. And that is the best route to go. The only reason you would want to run Facebook ads for this is if you're selling something else like teeth whitening. Like that's not really a need-based. If you're selling like an event for people to come to, but events are really good to do on Facebook and Instagram. If you're doing some kind of giveaway, that's something a dentist would want to do on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to just kind of build brand awareness about like, this is our staff, this is our doctor, and do a video about, hey, we've been servicing the Houston community for 20 years. Here's all the people that we have helped. Here's some before and afters of, nice smiles. That's the reason you would want to use Facebook. But again, I think that's a secondary wave if your goal is to get new customers. Yes, one day or some companies are at a level where they have enough clients. Like that's not even the problem. They just want to take it a step further and build better brand, build better community. Okay, Facebook, Instagram. The next one I have here is a lawyer. So lawyer, usually same thing. Like people don't necessarily stick to the branding, right? Like if you're DUI, right? It's like, okay, DUI lawyer near me. If it's criminal immigration, okay, criminal immigration near me. If it's just regular criminal, I think actually I said 2 in 1. So if it's criminal, that's a search. If it's immigration, that's a search. For the most part, it's not like you're going to know off the top of your head, like, okay, let me call Jim Adler. I mean, yes, people know the commercial and stuff, but that's not the route to go. Like what? You're going to brand your law office for 40 years and give stellar results? Like that's going to take time, and that's just a different day and age. Like that isn't even really an option anymore. Like people don't do that. Roofing, again, need-based. And it's going to be a lot like that for a lot of local service ads, like local service businesses. If they are need-based, most likely the best route to start off with is Google ads. So hopefully that gave you a good idea about which way you should start when you run a digital marketing campaign between Google ads and Facebook ads. Yes, there are a lot of other options. So like display, right? You got your TikToks, your Snapchats, things like that. But generally, even Twitter, right? But generally, for a local service-based business, these are going to be your best bets. And it is a bet. It's all a gamble. And the idea is to win that gamble because then you keep playing. So that is episode 3. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will catch you guys on the next one.